What's up, guys, and welcome back to our Clone Wars Chronological Rewatch. Today we are discussing Season 3, Episode 20, Citadel Rescue, and let's just dive into it. This is a good and I think probably the best episode of this arc.
Yeah, I enjoyed this arc a lot, and like the message behind it.
Yeah, and like the previous two episodes, like this one kind of builds and builds, but I feel like this, at least theme-wise, stands very well on its own. That victory without honor is hollow. And yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth with Tarkin and Anakin in this episode, which is just a treat to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Knowing what happens.
I liked what you pointed out when they're climbing down that wall.
Yeah, when they're climbing down the wall, Tarkin's kind of like on Anakin's back, and I made a joke that I wonder if Tarkin ever was like, "Hey Vader, remember that time you gave me a piggyback ride and rescued me?"
And it's pretty heavily implied that Tarkin knows who Vader is, if not outright stated at some point in the comics or something. But yeah, I like the idea of, you were also talking about how now he's got robot legs. Think of the piggybacks Darth Vader could give.
Yeah.
Or if Tarkin just blackmails him, like that's why Vader listens to Tarkin in A New Hope, is because like, I'm gonna tell everyone here that you gave me a piggyback ride once. You're gonna be so embarrassed.
Yeah, they talk about how the Jedi Code kind of can get in the way with their position or their part in the war, the play that they part, or
the part
that they play in the war.
Right, and that's what Tarkin argues, is that they're not willing to go far enough to win and win quickly. But that's kind of the point, is the Jedi fight with honor. They have ideals that they stick to, at least for now. We'll talk about how they change over the course of the war. But yeah, like, the Jedi aren't willing to do whatever it takes. They want to have honor in their victory. And we know that Tarkin doesn't feel that way. He will murder entire planets and cities and kill civilians. He doesn't care. He just wants victory. And we know that's hollow, but it's cool to get this kind of devil and angel on Anakin's shoulder, because Anakin's somewhere in the middle, and Obi-Wan is on one side pulling him to the light, and when Tarkin is pulling him a little to the dark. And
I also like that they kind of go back and forth about who is close to Palpatine or who is closer to Palpatine.
Yeah. Well, I saw that as like Tarkin recognizing that, oh, there is something to this kid. If Palpatine likes him, then maybe I can get on board with what he's saying. And like, they shake hands at the end and have some mutual respect. But that's like when Obi-Wan straight up says the theme of the episode about, like, we have to be careful how we win, which, by the way, is from Star Wars Rebels as well. Yoda tells Ezra, winning isn't as important as how you win. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that the Jedi lose over the course of the Clone Wars. They have already betrayed their ideals. They're meant to be peacekeepers and they're generals. And they talk about that in this episode, but that's just kind of like the first step on a slippery slope. We were watching Attack of the Clones the other night, and they're talking about how, like, oh, Count Dooku could never assassinate someone. It's not in his character. He used to be a Jedi. And then we jump to the book Dark Disciple, and the Jedi are like, well, I guess we have to assassinate Count Dooku. Like,
right.
They do lose their ideals, and they do lose their honor over the course of the war.
Yeah. Another cool thing about just the end of this episode, when they shake hands, you hear a little bit of the theme, the Vader theme.
Yeah, just a slight little Imperial March. And that's another little interesting dynamic with Ahsoka promised Evan Peel that she would only tell her part of the secret codes or whatever to the Jedi Council. And Tarkin says that, well, the Chancellor told me to take all this stuff straight to him. Mm-hmm. And it's more of that, like, Jedi, open your eyes up. And Dooku told you that a Sith Lord was in charge of the Senate, and no one looked into it, and they're all like, man, this Palpatine guy sure does seem to be making some shifty moves. Anyway, let's keep fighting. But yeah, like, I think that this is a really good arc. We're almost to the end of season 3, and
I really liked Even Peel in this arc, and he got an honorable send-off, I guess.
They're like, well, we can't bury him. I guess we'll just toss him in lava.
Yeah.
And that, of course, explains why he's not in Revenge of the Sith.
There you go.
But yeah, I think there's, one arc left in season 3, the Ahsoka Most Dangerous Game arc with the Trandoshans. So we will start covering that next time. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.